Hi, everybody. My name is Howard Sample, and I'm the director of the Life Crafting Program. Our focus in life crafting is supporting professionals who are in transition, exiting the corporate world or some traditional job and looking to craft their ideal life path and their ideal career and business focus. And we guide you through every one of the steps to making that happen. Today, I'm going to be focusing on a very central theme, a very area of great importance in our overall life crafting system. The title is The Awesome Power of Living Your Soul Purpose. So I really want to encourage you to pay careful attention to what I'm going to be sharing with you today, because this is very potent information, and there's a good possibility that you have not heard this before or you're not familiar with it. So I want to encourage you to take notes, ask questions. I'm here. We'll be here for a while and happy to dig deep into whatever it is that's important to you. To start out with, what is your soul purpose? So I want you to think about the idea of there being a magical and powerful place inside of you, kind of the center, your creative essence, your divine essence, a place of your deepest truth, a place that's yearning to be seen, to be known, and to be expressed. Chances are that at some point in your life, you have felt this, you felt part of it, you got an inkling of it, an idea of it, a glimpse, okay? And if you really are open and you're able to look inside, you will notice it and see it. But we're going to talk today about really knowing it and really gaining a deep access point to this awareness, to this consciousness, to this information. Sometimes this is called life purpose, but I am shifting now towards the phrase soul purpose because life purpose has been bandied around in many, many places with many coaches claiming that they can help you with your life purpose in one weekend workshop. And I don't believe that that is really what we're after here. Um, so one thing to realize here is that once you discover this, once you connect to this place and this knowing and feeling inside of you, nothing will ever be the same again. Your lens on life and the world changes, and you will see and feel a new landscape of possibilities, opportunities, and a level of quality of life and a level of experience that's very rare, that only a very small percentage of people on the planet ever really get to know this. The main reason is because people are usually operating in what we call survival mode. They're they're driven by the fears of need and trying to satisfy their needs, which we call the survival, or they may be operating out of the ego mind, which is to just greed and accomplishment and and money and material things, just more and more and more and more, thinking that that's ultimately going to make the critical difference. And invariably, when they do that, they wind up realizing in the end that there's an emptiness inside them that has never actually been filled. And so, what we're after here is really the whole enchilada, being able to know deeply what you love and want, know what your greatest gifts are, being able to express that in the world, make a difference in the world in quality of life, make really good money, um, and just have an extraordinary life and contribution. So that's what our kind of our big picture view is. Um, the other thing about this awareness of soul purpose that I want to mention is that once you're connected to it, you feel like you are being guided. You feel like you are connected to your spiritual higher self and that you're being guided and that you have a presence in your life and partnership in your life because you are in alignment with the the intention of spirit, you could say. There's also a quality of joyfulness and fun, liveliness, creativity, with unlimited potential. But I don't want you to get the feeling that soul purpose is some sort of nebulous, amorphous, or nebulous thing, because it actually isn't. Um, it's actually very focused, and it can be very concrete, and it can be very specific. So let's talk now about how do you access this awareness or knowing or truth inside of you. We're going to talk extensively about that. The first thing to realize here is that clarifying your soul purpose is a process, it's a journey. It's not something that happens overnight in some sort of slam dunk, like do some little thing, exercise, and then it's all there. So it is a journey, and it happens in stages. The truth lives inside of you in layers. You discover one layer where a lot of times people stop and they think they know the whole thing, but in fact, they've only gotten to the surface of one layer. But you can go down and peel the onion, as we say, and go deeper and discover more. So I want to encourage you, if you pursue this process, to do that, not to stay with the superficial. The process of discovery is multifaceted and utilizes many different vehicles. So it uses your mind, your thought process, your intuition, your feelings, are really on all different levels that you're making discoveries. Discoveries don't, happen in a one-dimensional way. So the attitude or approach to this, ideally, is going to be gentle with a persistent focus and an intention. So you're not passive, but you're not essentially like doing a meditation or visualization and just sort of hoping, or that some insight will come through and then you'll have your answer. Our approach to soul purpose is not it's not, certainly we can use visualization, of course we use meditation and things of that nature, but it's not this passive thing where we just sit back and we hope it's all going to come through to us. We concentrate on being deliberate, on taking action, on doing exercises. Some are analytical in nature, where you identify your interests in life, your values, what you are gravitate to, what you love, what you want, and also paying attention to the inner voice, and what is speaking to you inside, paying attention to your dreams, your visions, and things of that nature. You will ideally want to begin with simple discoveries, using a journal or a notebook. As I said before, your values and interests are going to be a good starting point. Where is your default go-to place where your attention focuses when you have no urgent needs of any kind and no distractions? Where do you go? Where do you naturally gravitate to? Where's your strongest interest? This will give you some very big clues. If you can get to a place where you're free of worry and fear, and let go of your distractions, let go of your fears and concerns, get to a place of really neutral, and also in you could say, a playful spirit, that is going to be ideal. Another word that I use a great deal in this area is the word permission. So permission to know, permission to feel, permission to see, permission to express, permission to love, permission to say the unconventional, that is not what others expect of you, permission to get out of the box of what is the norm, of what is your typical everyday kind of thinking, permission to get beyond the formal career that you've maybe been trained in school, or that you've been working in for a number of years. And perhaps most importantly, permission to let go of the financial concerns that usually drive so many people in life, that they can't separate from those driving internal those internal drives with money. Letting go of the shoulds and the supposed tos, the obligations, the requirements, the rules and the external constraints. This may take some time. You may need to actually spend a little time clearing those things out or sorting them out and letting them go. Um, Fortunately, we have other related and complementary tools in life crafting that can be very helpful to you. For example, the live stream video that I did last week, which was on emotional patterns and on emotional triggers and beliefs, can be very, very helpful as a kind of an adjunct to what we're doing today. So, I think it's good to use those tools and concepts parallel to what we're doing here. If you do have financial concerns, which are natural in life, we all go through times when that's a big focus. I don't want you to push those needs or concerns aside. I think it's important to address them, but it's also important to separate those concerns and fears and doubts and worries or goals with what we're doing here. Consider the journey of soul purpose to be kind of like a sacred journey or a sacred space. And you can even you can have a little ritual where you set up a place in your home totally devoted to this inquiry, to this personal spiritual type inquiry. When you immerse yourself in this mode of discovery and exploration, I'd like for you to think of yourself as kind of having the innocence of a child going out in the woods for the first time. So allow whatever discoveries are coming and not without any presuppositions of what it should be or it should actually look like. Now, in the course of doing all of this, I really want to encourage you as strongly as I can to have a journal and write down all of the discoveries and all the insights that are happening, all the experiences you're going through, even if they don't seem important at the time. You never really know ultimately what is going to be important because there's an element of the subconscious mind and the superconscious mind, the spiritual mind, that is going to come through to you. Guidance will come through to you. Insights will come through to you. And you want to be able to capture those things. So maybe get yourself a nice pen that you enjoy writing with, a nice journal with nice paper, nice ink, something that's just really fun and joyous to you, because the energy that you use with all of this is all going to blend and become combined together. Another question you can pose to yourself is, what if you had no responsibilities and you had no obligations and there was no one in your life that you had to please, and you didn't need approval from anyone? This is the space that you want to go into. You don't want to operate here with any constraints, just total freedom to learn, to discover, to explore, see what is the deepest truth. What is the deepest yearning that you have in your heart? What is the most unfulfilled part of you? And what does that part want? And what does it feel a desire to say or to express? As you make small, maybe even seemingly unimportant discoveries, record them. Notice the patterns, because you will notice patterns that come up pretty soon, but do not jump to conclusions. Even if you are seized by an idea and get excited about something, it's totally fine to notice it, to be excited about it, to write it down, even draw pictures or whatever you want to do, but allow it to just be there and continue the process and continue the journey. As I said earlier, you're peeling the layers of the onion. You will discover a lot of powerful things along the way, but they're not necessarily the final thing or the total answer to the question. Okay? It's great to identify words, phrases, and stories that have that hold meaning for you, whether past or present, writing them down, and maybe use some mind mapping method or software that will help you to see the layers and peel the onion down. Next thing I want to stress here is imagination. We live in a society in which people are not particularly encouraged to any great extent to use their imagination. But as you may recall, Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge, because imagination is literally the conduit between your physical being and your spiritual being. It's the connecting link in those. It's like a conduit. It's the connecting link between those worlds. So the more permission that you have to imagine, to dream, to visualize, and to capture what comes through, the more truth and the more insight that you are going to be able to gain. One immediate question that arises for people when they go through this, they have the knee-jerk reaction, well, when am I going to get to the practical stuff? When am I going to get to figure out what career I should do, or what business I should do? So in our philosophy in life crafting, we don't engage with any kind of shoulds or supposed tos. And we do get extremely practical, down to earth, and focused on income and money, but at the right time. And if you do that prematurely, if you get caught up in the financial or income conversation prematurely, it will very likely derail your creative discovery process. So I want to encourage you to be patient, patient, and just relax about that. Don't worry about that. And then come back. We will come back to that later. Now, some of you watching this are aware that I'm an astrologer and that I use astrology in a very meaningful way in my work with people, in my coaching and my guidance with people. So, of course, naturally, the question arises, well, why can't we just use astrology and see what's in my chart to get the answer about my life purpose? So I'm going to answer you this way. I'll tell you a little story. Many years ago, when I was living in New York, years ago, I had intuitive insights about people's career path. But surprisingly, when I told them what it was, they didn't have very strong reactions. So I did this little experiment where I would put my intuitive thought about what they would wind up. I put it in a sealed envelope and I would put it to the side. And then when they finally got to clarify their optimum career, we would open the envelope and invariably would find that the two match. But the irony was they would be all excited. And so what's the answer? The answer is that you have to discover the truth for yourself. Being told the truth will not do it. It will not work. But your astrological birth chart can still be an extraordinary tool for helping you gain insights about why you're here in a lot of different ways. But I just want to emphasize to not use it as a substitute for your own discovery and your own clarification. I want to, again, also along the same lines, recommend that you not consider a packaged answer, like a set in stone packaged answer, like a career category that is a known occupational category. Now, I'm not saying you won't wind up in some known, category of career, but I want you to break out of categories and out of labels and out of predetermined ideas in order to get to that deepest truth. So if you get to a truth inside of you that you really feel deeply, then if that evolves into a conventional career of some sort, that's fine. More often than not, when people do this process, what they wind up with is usually unique, because we are at our core individuals, and it's our individuality which is where our power lives, where our uniqueness, our power, and our contribution and our genius really lives. So think along, best to think along those lines. Okay, so let's fast forward here a little bit, and let's say that you have uh, doing this process and you're making lots of discoveries and you're recording them in your journal, and things are starting to really coalesce and they're coming together and you're starting to get a feeling it's all converging. That's great. So I recommend that you write several paragraph, give us several paragraph summary of all of what you've gotten to so far, of what you've gotten to see so far. And then you can go ahead and distill it down to one paragraph as best as you're able, but without, of course, leaving out important. Next, I want you to really spend time feeling it, not just having this be some mental exercise. If it's purely mental, cognitive, intellectual, I can assure you have not found your soul purpose. Your soul purpose is something of a deeply feeling nature and something that will move you greatly when you actually when you actually get to it, when you actually get to that level of clarity. Okay, so once you've done this, and once you have distilled it down, and once you've written it as a few sentences, now is your time to test it. How do you do that? Well, first, as I said, this should really touch a deep chord in you, a feeling chord in you, and be something that there's an inner knowing. There's like a sort of a light bulb that goes on that goes, yes, this is why I'm here. This is why I came to this planet. This is what matters to me. This is what's important to me. This is what gives my life meaning. And then you will know that and feel that and trust that. There won't be a matter of like, well, I'm not really sure. When you get to the truth about your soul purpose, it will speak to you so deeply and so powerfully, there will be no doubt. And if you still have doubt or you have uncertainty, then you have some more work to do, some more room to go to peel it down further. Um, Begin to identify the actions you naturally feel like you want to take. What is it that you want to uh, what actions do you want to take with your purpose? Where do you want to go with it? What's the natural motivation that springs forth from this knowing inside you? Just write it down. Again, nothing is set in stone, nothing is fixed, nothing is permanent, because we are all on a continuous evolutionary journey. But the paradox is that with life purpose, you can make it concrete enough to take action, to put a form on it, to use it to create a business venture. There are many, many things we do in life crafting that are very, very down to earth and practical, but they stem from this inner place of knowing. So the question now, does this awareness that you have gained allow you to feel a special sense of fulfillment, a sense of completion, as I said before, a sense of purpose? If yes, you're on track, keep going. If no, then there's more to do and more peeling of the onion. Now, one very, very strong key that I want to give you in all of this: do not attempt this soul purpose discovery process alone in a vacuum. That would be like, a giant self sabotage to even attempt that. Seek a mentor or guide with extensive experience in this area, and who also has not only experience and skill and a spiritual orientation in life, but also a strong community that can provide us a level of community of support. There are many coaches nowadays that claim they will help you get your life purpose, and maybe offer a workshop or some sort of quick fix. This is often a trap. If you attempt to pursue this and you only get a part of the a part of the puzzle, but there are pieces left out, it will likely become frustrating later, because you will know there's something missing and you will maybe not know what that something is. So consider, as I said this earlier, consider this a sacred journey, like a rite of passage, and not simply some quick step to start your business. There are many layers. Once begun, the process will continue. Your subconscious will take over this process, and at times, insights will pop up unexpectedly without your even being aware that it's even happening. I want to encourage you to use the previous videos we've done here on the law of attraction, mindfulness, and the belief work, and as companion toolkits to this process. Um, Once you've done this and you know your purpose and you've shared it in the world and you're getting the kind of results that you really want with it, um, you're going to see a number of things. First of all, a tremendous sense of satisfaction, a personal fulfillment and satisfaction, a divinely inspired life, a sense of fearlessness, a sense of trust in you and your knowing, and then a continuous sequence of synchronicities or unexpected occurrences that happen all the time with meeting just the right people at just the right time and just the right situation. And all these things are coming out of our principle of alignment because you are aligned to the highest purpose for you. And you're also utilizing the law of attraction, which is bringing in those situations and those people all the time. So what I want to offer you to complete for today, what I want to make a special offer to all of you today watching this, is to do, if you are in any way involved in life purpose or soul purpose, and if this is an area of importance to you, or maybe there's some of the other themes we've had here, I want to offer you the opportunity to schedule a discovery session with me. It's no cost. And what we will do in the session is a review where you are in this process, in this discovery process. How far along are you? What is it that's missing or needing, that you need it right now? What kind of support will help you? Where are you stuck, if anywhere, and how can we help you, move through that? And that, of course, includes the short-term cash flow concerns, because a lot of times people feel like they know their purpose, they know why they're here, but they're struggling with their short-term immediate needs not being satisfied. And so they don't really have the bandwidth to really pursue what they love. And in life crafting, we have a wonderful system and technology for addressing that. So if you have any thoughts at all about, hey, you want to just chat about your situation, you want to get some support with this, be sure to take action immediately. Click the link. You'll be taken to the calendar. There's no cost. Just schedule your appointment, and I promise you you'll have a significant breakthrough in our conversation. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got value. Please post questions below and comments below, whatever they may be. I will do my very best to answer them. And have a fantastic rest of the week and weekend. And I look forward to seeing you very soon in another live streaming event, which we have many planned for the next few weeks. So look forward to continuing our connection and our conversations.